What? A child that is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. Story do you have? A kid who was relentlessly bullied at my school for years sued the district and got an upper six-figure settlement. BRB. Filing a lawsuit. I mean, that's the short version of how it went down. He had years of documentation of going to the principal, teachers, counselors, even the superintendent. They all either did nothing or made empty promises that they didn't keep. He had documentation for it all. The highlight was when the lacrosse team jammed a lacrosse stick up his butt not once, but twice, and the only consequence was one of the kids being suspended for 2 days. Edit. I should also add that this isn't a rural school in the Deep South. It's a suburban school located in a liberal part of New York. Edit 2. No, this did not happen on Long Island. I'm sad to hear that these stories are more common than I thought. And GT. The highlight was when the lacrosse team jammed a lacrosse stick up his butt not once, but twice. This was done to a black student with Down syndrome at another, predominantly white and affluent, school as well. Perpetrators were wealthy white kids. I think they may have used hockey sticks. Slaps on the wrist all around. I read about it a long time ago, but I think the kid was so mentally shattered he was institutionalized and the parents were just trying to get the medical bills covered. The judge, who sentenced the kids to community service, was friends with the families of the perpetrators. I was only like 14 or 15 at the time, but I remember wanting to track every single one of them down. The teenage boys, the parents who covered it up, the judge, the school administrators who looked the other way, and make them suffer. What kind of person looks at someone with Downs and decides to sexually assault them as a joke? I can imagine one such monster at any given school, but to know another dozen or so boys participated, cheered him on or simply ignored it, boggles the mind. And to know countless adults helped make this whole thing go away, so the boys could go about their lives as if nothing happened. I still can't wrap my head around it. I didn't think it could get much worse than OP's story, but doing this to a special needs child is sickening. The parents probably think they were being good parents by protecting their kids. They're all pieces of shit, but I've seen parents protect their kids from worse. Edit. Maybe not worse. It doesn't get much worse than raping a kid with Down syndrome. But I've seen parents flat out lie to protect their teenage kids from rape charges. There was a hockey player drafted by the Coyotes a few years back, Mitchell Miller, who did something similar and didn't face any real consequences for his actions until the Coyotes and NHL were, rightfully, shamed and criticized by mainstream media outlets for the decision to draft him. He was cut after that. This year the Bruins tried to sign him, but the league stepped in and denied it. I'm glad he's facing some consequences, but damn, why did it even have to get that far before anyone stepped in? I don't think they were there to play lacrosse. Judging by the type of people drawn to play lacrosse, I assumed this is exactly how you play it. Someone I used to have in a support group I once helped run for sexually victimized and abused young men shared with us what happened to him. I'm not going into the finer details of it, but the broad stroke is he was being victimized by a TA. He went to other teachers, school admins, and even police. No one believed him. And he even got punished for making it up to get a staff member in trouble. It destroyed his personality. He became bitter, resentful, spiteful, and generally hateful of other people. He was improving his demeanor in the group, but from what he tells us, he just wanted to watch the world die at the time. A couple years later, that same Ta tripped down the stairwell in one of the side hallways of the school, and he happened to be nearby. He saw she was badly injured and likely had broken bones and was bleeding from her head. Instead of helping her, he literally stepped over her and pretended she wasn't there. Security footage showed he wasn't the one to push her, but when asked why he didn't say anything or get help, he simply said that last time he tried to tell people about something involving her, no one helped, so why would they this time? And GT. He simply said that last time he tried to tell people about something involving her, no one helped, so why would they this time? Boss move. I hope he didn't get In trouble. In the USA at least there's no legal obligation to help people. He may face disciplinary action from the school though. Except in Latham, Massachusetts. Duty to rescue. There goes the money for the liposuction. One of my friends from elementary school, he's the typical middle child. His brother is 11 years older and his sister is 5 years younger. So of course he faces all the actual consequences for his other siblings' actions. Rules he didn't like were because of stuff his brother did when his brother was a kid. If his sister did something stupid, it was his fault because he should have stopped her. His wants and needs were never the priority. If he wanted money, no, because it went to his brother. In college, if he wanted friends to come over, no, because sister already had people coming over. He had to wear his brother's old clothes, but of course his sister got new clothes. Yada yada, you get the picture. When he was 16 he went out on a late-night food run, and while waiting in the drive-thru someone ends him pretty hard. Does a not insignificant amount of damage to his parents' car. The other driver takes full responsibility, offers to pay for the repairs. Just an unfortunate accident. Well, his parents revoke his car privileges. Because he got in an accident, and they had a no accidents policy. Didn't matter, then it wasn't his fault. So, he told them that if they took away his car privileges he will never lend them anything for the rest of his life. They grounded him for saying that. That was about a decade ago, and he has never once given them anything. No money, no car, not even housing. He literally made his parents get a hotel once. He said he would forgive them if they apologized. To my knowledge they have not apologized. By the way, his sister was involved in an accident a few years back where she was at fault. And her parents not only paid for the repairs to her car, but also are helping her pay for her car insurance now. I'm imagining him getting in a horrible car accident where he is not at fault. He sustains life-threatening injuries. He is put in a medically induced coma and his parents rush to the hospital for the single purpose of informing him he is grounded. Poor guy is the real-life Butters, grounded for having a stupid face. https://southpark.cc.com/video-clips/gfsc8w/south-park-grounded-butters. I was lied to by HR, and it led to me not getting a promotion. I basically put them in a position where I couldn't be replaced and messed with. The Excel codes I made for them that saved managers 6 hours a day. I didn't correct what I knew would get us high fees since it wasn't technically my job. Then I quit. $700K in fines. Nobody trained to do scheduling, department without anyone to run it, and additional work for the managers was the damage. I started getting calls to help them fix it. I'm sure you can imagine how well that went for them. Edit. To everyone complaining about my actions here, this was years ago. The Excel document automation wasn't something I was asked to do. I did it because having the manager free made everyone else's job easier. The document literally needed to be made once a month in order to keep functioning. On top of that, this isn't some mom and pop shop that got hit with this. This was a multi-million-dollar company. Was doing work above my pay grade, and outside of the scope of my job. I just stopped doing the extra. Don't fuck with the only person in the office who practices the black arts of Excel formulae and macros. It will only end badly. They tried to copy and paste the table. Ha ha ha. Those sweet summer children. I recently turned someone's multi-day reoccurring task into a 5-minute one, and gave him strict instructions not to touch anything other than adding data to the cells I had highlighted. Got a call a few days later with him in a full panic. I think he did a normal paste instead of paste values. A solid hour of making him watch via Teams while I fixed it left him very much convinced that he has to follow my instructions to the letter. Haven't had a problem since. One of our junior engineers made a spreadsheet for me that saves me a full day's worth of data entry. He saw what I was doing, said, "It doesn't have to be like that," and fixed it for me. I still thank him every chance I get, and I do not touch anything he told me not to touch. It feels great to be able to do it for someone. The problem is that Excel is so easy to break. You can follow all the instructions and still get hit by a page of errors because one tiny thing went wrong. It sucks to be the person who then has to fix it, because you have no clue what happened to break it all so badly. My favorite complaint was when they deleted a document that was supposed to help autofill another. No one had any idea why the secondary document wasn't working right anymore. Or move the output document to a different folder without bring the source along too. I met this kid while in junior high. Knew him his first year in high school. Back in 78-79. Remember the movie, Carrie? He had that for a mother. He was super religious and had to pray multiple times a day. Carried a large Bible with his school books. Wore old-fashioned formal clothes, 1950s style.